Hey friends, welcome back to Llama Mama Kayla's Yarn Tube. I'm Kayla. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope you're having a great day, and I'm so glad that you clicked on this video and chose to spend some of your precious time with me today. I am going to be working on a project out of this book today, and I'm going to use the blue, it's called Blue, the Hobby Lobby Beginner yarn. It's the tube yarn that I just showed in yesterday's yarn haul. And I'm also going to be using the Michaels brand for their tube yarn. It is the Loops and Thread Cuddlecraft tube. And so this one comes from Michaels, this one comes from Hobby Lobby. I just wanted to have two different color blues, and so I will show you what I'm going to be making out of this book, and I'm using my own colors. I'm not making exactly what the picture is. But I do want to say this. Thank you all so much for answering my confusing questions about this book. Several of you mentioned some things, and let's see if I can just touch on some things. Okay, the mouse. I was like, a Christmas mouse? I don't know. But yes, the poem, or the story, it was the night before Christmas and not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Is that the way it goes? Christmas mouse, okay. Duh. I don't know why that didn't come to mind, but it did not come to mind at all. Let's see. There might have been a couple more things. Okay, the bird. There's a tradition in, I believe it was UK, Europe, let me think, Ireland? I'm not sure exactly where, but there is a tradition about a robin bird with Christmas, and so that was very interesting because I never heard that before. You know, sometimes we just get focused in on our own country, and you know, we don't think about celebrations. Although when my kids were homeschooled, we did do a study about different countries at Christmas time and how they celebrate Christmas and stuff, but I don't think that was in there. I don't remember it. Brussels sprouts. It's a UK thing. They have them at Christmas. Did not have a clue. Thank you all so much. Several people mentioned all these things, and I just thank you so much for educating me because I did not know whatsoever. I think that might be all the things. I'm not sure, but that was the main things that I was thinking of. But yes, I loved learning something from you guys. I think that might have been all the things, but that was good. I was glad to learn those things. All right, so what am I going to make? I'm going to make the robin, except I'm going to make it a bluebird, and not really like a bluebird. I'm making my own bluebird. The body's going to be light blue, and the wings are going to be dark blue, because I have a lot of amigurumis, you know, these little size amigurumis, but I don't have anything made in blue. So here's my opportunity to make something in blue, and I'm using a 4mm hook. Oh, a 5mm hook. Why in the world did I say 4? I'm using a 5mm hook. And this yarn here, let's just look and see. It is a 4, make sure. No, it says 5 bulky on this. I don't see that it's any thicker than the Wooble yarn that is a 4-weight. I don't see any difference in that. Now we'll see if it works up any different. This is a 4-weight yarn here, a medium 4. This one actually looks a little puffier than this one. Let's see, can we zoom in to see the difference? There's not really a difference, but the dark blue looks a little bit puffier. Woo, there we go. How do you like that? The dark blue looks a little bit puffier to me than the light blue. But hey, they are very, very close. So I don't know what makes this one bulky and what makes this one a 4. But that's what I'm doing today, and I just thought we could chat a little bit. I got a lot to chat about. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, first off, what am I going to start with? Okay, first off, Big Daddy done caught his office on fire. No, it wasn't his fault. But his office did catch on fire. And their lights started blinking, electricity went out, and I guess it maybe smelled like smoke. And so, I don't know, they were all just kind of walking around like, what's going on? And they're all kind of going into the conference room because there's big windows in there, and, you know, everybody else, it was dark. And they were looking for light. And then, I don't know who called the fire department or 911 or what. I don't know how that came to play. But the fire department came and was looking around. And then the fire department was like, hey, y'all need to go outside. Evacuate the building. The building's on fire. And they're like, what? Come to find out it was right there at Jody's office. And they didn't even know. Like, I'm like, y'all are not very observant. But it was not like it was flame fires. It was electrical. And so it was an electrical wire, and I think it did something to the AC, maybe. So they sent them all out in the parking lot, and you know, it is hot out in that parking lot, and they're all standing around. So Big Daddy went to the car, and he called me and said, you know, you can't believe this, the office caught on fire. And then I picked on him a little bit, and I told him he tooted one too many times in there. He would kill me if he knew I said that. Y'all don't tell him. Let that be our secret, okay? He didn't think it was funny when I said it to begin with. But anyway, and he's sitting there, he's like, you know, my lunch is upstairs, I don't know. I was like, Jody, go to Peking. That's a Chinese restaurant that we used to love to go to, and we haven't been because of me. And he won't ever go there because, it's, you know, I can't eat there. And I said, go to Peking and eat lunch. Please do that. And because it would make me happy knowing that he was sitting there eating Peking, because he misses going out to eat Chinese. And so sometimes when I get groceries, I will get him like some honey chicken or TSO chicken and fried rice and egg rolls so he can fix him a little Chinese meal. But anyway, I was like, go to Peking for lunch. And he was like, that does sound good. I'm like, go. So he went, and then he called me. He said, you ain't going to believe this. There's a sign on the door that says they're not open on Tuesdays. And I was like, well, that's weird. But go to J Garden. It's not that much further away. I said, go to J Garden. And he said, okay, I guess I could run over there. I was like, well, what are you going to do? Go back and stand in the parking lot? So he went to J Garden. They're closed on Tuesdays also. We're so out of the loop. I don't know. What's the deal with restaurants being closed on Tuesdays? I have no idea. So about that time, he did get a phone call from somebody in the office saying, you know, just go on home. They're not letting us back in today. So he came on home and got him some lunch, fixed him some lunch when he got home. Bless his heart. So one day in the future, I am going to stress that he goes to eat at Peking, maybe on a Friday or something, and eats lunch, because that would be something good that he could, you know, he would enjoy it, and it would make me happy knowing that he was enjoying his lunch, and he deserves that. Big Daddy's good to me. He takes good care of me. And in saying that, I don't want to act like we're perfect, because, good Lord, we are not perfect. But we love each other. We argue, and just like any other couple. I mean, I get on his nerves, he gets on my nerves, okay? Just like any other couple. So don't ever think that we're trying to pretend like we're perfect or something. I mean, because we are not perfect. But I love that man, and he loves me. He takes care of me. I do things for him too. I rub lotion on his legs at night, on his feet and legs at night when he gets in the bed. I mean, we do things for each other, you know. It's not that he just takes care of me. I do things for him too. But, yeah, I used to say, yeah, Jody gets on my nerves, but I don't complain about him because he could write a book about me getting on his nerves. And now that he's actually wrote some books, I better stop saying that because he might actually write a book about me getting on his nerves. Bless that man. Love him, love him. But anyway, yeah, we argue. Sometimes we just, you know, need a good argument. Sometimes you just wake up and you just want to argue. I mean, no, you know, there's times you're somebody you love might get on your nerves or whatever. Or like, aunt. Okay, so that is a good start on my bluebird. Can't wait to get this bluebird made. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to tell you about is my Walmart grocery order. So let me just say this. Once a month, usually after I get paid from YouTube, we do a large grocery order. And then during the month, we'll do small pickups or something like that. But we do a large order, and that's including over-the-counter meds, household stuff like, you know, bathroom stuff or kitchen stuff, laundry soap, things like that, whatever we're out of. And it usually takes me a couple of days, 3 or 4 days, to get this order ready because, you know, I'm going around the house looking to see what we're out of, what we need. And so it usually takes me a few days to get this order together. And it's, like I said, a large order. It's our main order of the month. And then after that, we just pick up things we run out of, such as milk or bread or mayonnaise or, you know, things that we run out of, but are things that I might have, you know, not remembered to get on the big order. Sometimes I just overlook things. So it took me a few days, and I put that order in, and I ordered it during the night and had it delivered this morning. Okay. And so when Paige got here and she's doing my meds, I said, I have a Walmart order coming. And she's like, okay. And I waited. It didn't come. I did get something that said it was out for delivery. And I can track that, but we were doing my meds, and then she fixed me some cream of chicken soup, just the cream of chicken with, well, you know, water added in it. And so then it was getting close to time for her to leave, and she's having some issues with kidney stone, and it hit her, you know, while she was here, and she had some pain from that. But then I looked to see, you know, why aren't they here yet? And it said it was delivered. I was like, okay, well, it's not out here. So I went to the email and looked to see where, you know, the picture, because they always took a picture. They always take a picture to show you, you know, proof that they delivered it or whatever. Y'all, I did not know someone could be so dumb to do this. She put my groceries in the dirt road, in the dirt, in the ants, in the 100 degrees, and y'all, I was like, what in the world? And I showed Paige, and she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, that's where the groceries are at. Y'all, I mean, it's just unbelievable. I'm gonna pop in a picture right here and show you where those groceries were put. Can you even believe that? In the road. Now, on my Walmart order, I clearly have instructions to leave at the front door. I even go as far as to say there's a wagon right at the front door. You're welcome to come and get the wagon and use it to bring the groceries up. I try to make it as easy as possible on them, you know? And that's what she did. Now, okay, and since we've been doing the Walmart pickup, there has been times where it's worked out great. But there's been more times where it was a big disappointment. One time I had a lady to call me to come get my groceries out of her car. And I was like, ma'am, I'm disabled. I can't do that. Or I would have went to Walmart and bought the groceries and brought them home and brought them in, you know. That's the point of me getting the Walmart delivery. To us, it's worth paying for it if it works correctly. But there's just been times where, you know, one of them did not deliver my groceries. She came and then she was like, I'm not walking up there. And left. Did not leave the groceries. And I had to end up canceling the order and going and getting groceries. I mean, it's just been some, you know, things like that that has not worked out great. There's been a few times where it did work out great and we had great delivery people and they were so nice and, you know, helpful and everything. And then there's times when it's not. And today was that day. So Paige is in a lot of pain because she's dealing with the kidney stones. But bless her heart, she went out there. The lady must have just thrown the bags because the Walmart bags were busted. The stuff in the bags had fell out. If they were in a package, that package busted and was just all over the road out there in the dirt. And the ants were covering everything. It's just unreal. Things that had like cardboard wrappers around them were just busted and the individual things were out under all that, and the ants, and the lunch meat was covered in dirt and ants. The bread had ants already in it. And I mean, just crazy stuff like that. The cheese was all just melted, a clump of cheese. My fudge popsicles were just melted in the little individual bags. It was chocolate popsicles. And my doctor, I've been talking, as I was making my grocery list, I've been talking to my GI doctor and my dietitian about things for me to be able to eat and be able to drain. It's not clogging up my tube and, you know, things like that. So I was having a lot of things in there that I was trying for the first time to be able to, you know, find things to eat and still drain and all that kind of stuff. So I had a lot of things in there like that, and I was so disappointed that a lot of that stuff had dirt and ants in it. And I was just like, what in the world? Like, this cannot be real. What person thought it was okay to put your food in the dirt and on a big old huge ant bed? Okay, not only that, let me just tell you, because this was a large order, and when you do a Walmart grocery order, it automatically puts the tip on there, and you can raise that tip or lower that tip. And so I left the tip as is. Walmart gave her, you know, put her tip at $34.48. Y'all, her tip was $34.48. Now, when they choose to pick up and deliver, they get to see what their tip is going to be. So she knew her tip was $34.48. And she thought that was okay to leave my groceries out in the dirt road. Now, the road, my house is back off the road. It is. It would have been a little walk up here. But like I said, I offered a wagon. It's clearly on the instructions to, you know, feel free to use the wagon. It's up by the front door. Yeah. So I immediately got on my computer and edited her tip down to 0, because that is unacceptable all the way around. And then I cashed out her tip to Paige. Now, Paige went out there, she took her 3 trips with the wagon, and then when she would get the wagon up here, she would have to make 3 or 4 trips to empty the wagon, you know, in the house. And so, I don't know what this little bug is flying around. And so anyway, I cashed out her that tip. I cashed out her $35 right away. And she said, no, you don't have to do that. And I'm like, yes, I do, because you did not have to go out there and get those groceries. And you're in a lot of pain anyway. And yes, I do. I owe you this. And she was like, well, you don't have to do that, but thank you, you know. I mean, she's over here trying to earn a little extra income. And I'm, you know, paying her all that I can. And I don't, you know, only have her for 2 hours a day because that's what I can afford to pay her. We budget that in. And it's very important that we, you know, have her. She's very, very helpful to me. And I really just love her as a person, too. If, I mean, like, she's a person that I would be friends with. And, you know, all the way. So, I just gave her that tip. And I called Walmart. I called my local store first. And she was like, well, I'll send her back out there. And I was like, no. First off, a lot of that food has got to be thrown away because it's set out there for I don't know how long, 2 hours in the hot sun. My cheesecake pie had to be thrown away. My fudgesicles had to be thrown away. The cheese, the bread. I mean, it was a lot of things that just had to be thrown away. If it wasn't in a can or a jar, it had to be thrown away. Food items. And ants. Ants was all in that, and Paige didn't know until they started biting her. So she got a whole bunch of ant bites from it. And then she didn't know that there was ants in the first set of bags that she brought in. And now I got ants in the kitchen. They're just all, even though they disappeared, I set a cup in there and all the ants came out for it. Yesterday, there was no ants in there. Today, this evening, there's ants. So she brought ants in with them because she didn't know there was ants there. So I told the woman, I said, no. First off, I don't want that woman back out here at my house. And, you know, this is very unacceptable, and I want to talk to someone. And I explained that I did go on there and edit her tip because that is not tip worthy. And then she was like, okay, well, you need to call 1-800-Walmart. And so I did, and I gave them my order number and all that kind of stuff and talked with them. And I did call about, I don't know, too many times. Because the first couple of people, I couldn't understand them very well. And I couldn't, I hate to be like, you know, I hate to ask them to repeat themselves so many times, but I tried to get through it and, you know, make you understand what they were saying and everything. But then I called back and I did get someone who, I could understand. And then she was just like, you know, I'm so sorry. That is not acceptable, and this will be reported, and actions will be taken. She didn't say what or whatever, but she did say actions would be taken, that is not acceptable, and that is not the way Walmart, you know, wants to conduct business, by putting groceries on the road, and especially in the dirt and the ants, and so she said, you know, if it was $150, she could automatically, or up to $150, she could automatically refund it. But since it was more, that it would have to go to the next tier or whatever for them to, you know, say what needs to be done. And so I thanked her and talked, you know, it's not her fault, you know, so I wasn't like mad at her or anything like that. It's not her fault at all. So I thanked her for helping me, and, you know, just told her I was just so surprised that someone would think that's okay. And then I did call back again because I decided I'm paying monthly for this Walmart delivery service, and more times it has turned out not to be helpful than it is helpful. And so I was like, this just isn't going to work for us. We're just going to have to do multiple small orders and pick up, curbside pickup, you know, in the parking lot, and then, you know, bring them home. We just won't do a huge order because it's too hard for us to get the groceries in the house and then put away. Now, when somebody delivers them to the door, oh yeah, we can just easily, you know, get them in the house and get them put away and feel like we really accomplished something. But anyway, and Paige, bless her heart, she has had knee surgery. She's had both knees replaced, and she has a hard time kind of getting around to do some things. And, you know, and for her to also be dealing with kidney stones and still went out there and got my dirty groceries, I just appreciate her so much. But anyway, I got off track. Okay, so I did call back, and I decided, okay, we're just not going to do that Walmart. I'm paying monthly on that, and I'm just not going to be able to use that. It's not helpful to us. I wish it was, and I was very much hoping it would be. Like, the tip is very much worth it when you can't do it yourself, and you're going to have to pay somebody to help you do, you know, get your groceries or whatever. That tip is very much worth it. And so I called to cancel that, and I got this sweet young lady, and she's like, oh, no, we don't want to lose you. We value you as a customer, you know, gave me the whole spiel. And she then said, how about I offer you a $25 credit. Basically, she emailed me a code, and I can apply that my next order, and I get $25 off. Plus, we'll give you 22 months free of charge for the delivery service. And so I said, okay, I will try to use the delivery service a couple of times in the next 2 months, but if it does not go well, then I'm going to have to cancel it, because I can't pay for something that I can't use. You know what I'm saying? I'm already paying for the monthly little bill. I think it might be like $12 something a month. And then, you know, I'm paying the tip for the delivery person. And if that doesn't work out too well, then I'm just throwing away money, right? And so I explained to her, you know, that I'll accept that for today, and I will give it another try. Not a huge order, but I'll give it another try in the next 2 months and see how it's going to go. So we agreed on that. Now, they have sent my complaint to the next higher up, and I don't know what they're going to do, but, you know, I told her that I made a list of the groceries we had to throw away, and it's, you know, common sense stuff that can't be sitting out in the 100-degree weather for 2 hours. And also some of it, you know, had ants inside the packaging, or, you know, was just covered in dirt, and it's just gross. I'm not fixing to sit there and put that in my refrigerator when it was covered in dirt. And so she said I should hear something back soon. She told me how many hours, maybe 24, 72 hours. I don't remember. But I told her, okay, but I still need to buy these items. So, you know, is there a way to speed up that process? Because I still need to, I need to get a refund on those items so I can go buy those items at a different store. So, anyway, that was my Walmart experience, and I was very, very ticked off about that. I mean, that just is unbelievable. I could not believe that. And usually they call and say, I'm here, I'll be bringing your groceries up shortly, or if they put the groceries on there and like I didn't open the door or anything, they will call and say, just want to let you know your groceries are on your doorstep. You know, some of them do it like that. She did not do anything. I mean, even the ones that didn't do good called and told me that they needed me to come to their car to get my groceries. And then one of them called one time and said, I can't walk up there. I was just like, okay, so what do we do? And she just drove off and hung up the phone. So, anyway, that's very disappointing because it would be a very helpful service if it worked correctly. And even my friend Angela, she lives over in West Monroe, and her address is like a higher number, and her next door neighbor is a lower number. They're not the same numbers. They both begin with an 8, but then the next two numbers are totally different. And every time she orders, they deliver to her neighbor that she does not even talk to. They had a few years back and don't speak to each other, and the neighbor won't let Angela know that her stuff was delivered over there, and Angela has to, you know, like call Walmart and say, I think y'all took that to my neighbor's house. It looks like her porch, you know, and so she will not even use the service. So I don't know why she even keeps it either, although she might get Paramount Plus through it or something, through her Walmart. I think she gets Paramount Plus through that, and that's probably why she's keeping it. But yeah, she don't order from it to be delivered because every time she has ordered, it hasn't went well for her. And one time they delivered it to the wrong house, and then she called them and they said, oh, we're going to send that right back out to you, and they never did. They never did. She ended up having to call and have it taken off, you know, because she never received the item. So yeah, that's sad. I really was hoping that the service would be more helpful to us, and it's not. So me and Big Daddy are on our own with that. We got to figure that out, and I think our best bet is to just get smaller orders. So sometimes we might go like 2 weeks without needing to get anything. So it looks like we're going to have to go at least every week. But you know, when you run out of everything you got, or, you know, you're trying to build your stock back up or something, it, is hard to do. You know, you need to make a big order. I don't know. We're just so used to doing the big order and then small orders to get us through the month. I don't know. We'll just have to figure it out. So, do you have good luck if you have Walmart delivery where they bring your groceries to your door? Have you had good luck with that? Have you had mishaps with that? I don't know. So the head of my bird is turning out pretty cute. I really like that blue. Need to probably add his eyes in. I'll have to look and see what row to put his eyes on. And I am going to give him like a yellow beak. I'm going to look in my stash for yellow. And I just bought some, remember? So, there. Alright, so I'm going to work on that. That is my WIP for today. It is a WIP Wednesday. And so that's what I'm working on. And I'm going to work on that a little bit. And then I'll come back and show you guys what I got done. Okay guys, just popping back on because I got an idea of what I'm going to do for the eyes. Okay, so I've been doing these little wibble kits. Here's Tony the Rat's packaging. Well, if you remember, in all the kits, they give you 3 eyes, right? And you only use 2. So I have an extra eye in each kit. So I'm going to take the extra eye from 2 kits and have kits for How come I didn't use that stuffing? I have stuffing for my bird, and I have an eye. So there's one part of the eye, and I think the other part's in here. I'm going to go through all my little bags right now. I just have my bags with the extras, but I am going to go through those and get out that yarn and put in my tube yarn stash. So that gives me one eye. And then here's Martha. There should be an eye in here also. So every kit they give you 3 eyes, you know, in case you lose one. And I have dropped one before and had to grab the 3rd one out, because it could drop one, it rolls up under my desk or something like that. So here's the 2nd eye, and the washer is probably right in here too. Right there. So now I have my 2 eyes, and something fell. I don't know what. I heard something hit the floor. Might have been a stitch marker or something in there. So, making use of those extra eyes is awesome. Oh, I bet it was one of these stitch markers. I didn't know those had come out. Put those right up there. I can give those to Zeke's mom. Yeah, I'm glad I thought of that. You know, I hate to just have those extra eyes not being used. I want to use them, of course. And I don't know why I didn't use the stuffing on Tony. I do have a bag of stuffing right here under my desk. I have some, those 3 drawers, the stackable drawers. I have a set of, well, I have a bunch of sets of 3s of them under, at that height, the 3 drawer height, under my desk. And the 2 that are right here, in between them right here, I have like a Walmart bag that I have stuffed with stuffing, and then I just stick it right here. So when I'm doing an amigurumi, I can just reach down there. I mean, it's just like reaching right here and pull that bag out. Or actually, I kind of have it open where I can just reach in it and grab some stuffing and stuff my animals. And then whenever that bag is empty, go refill it from my box of stuffing. Just makes it a little easier on me, you know, when I'm working on a project, my stuffing's close by. I don't have to go get some and then find out I didn't get enough, or I got too much and then have to go put some back or go get some more or whatever, you know, whatever. I like this color of blue. And on this bird, they did, well, I don't know if you can see, they did a little color change work right there. I'm not even going to do that. I am going to do something a little bit different for that right there. I just don't feel like doing that right now on today's project. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about this book is the print. The row is in dark print, but the direction is in light print. So I'm having to, you know, pull it up, look at my, through my magnifying glass and read the directions. And then sometimes as I'm working, I might need to like read those directions again and just double check myself a couple of times. So I'll do that multiple times, and that's a little bit annoying. I talked to my baby this morning, Elijah. I had a really rough night, tube-wise, dealing with my tube and drain bag and all that kind of stuff. I had a really rough night. Now my bag has a leak in it, and so I had to throw it away, and tomorrow I gotta figure out how to get a new drain bag. I did buy one at a medical place a week ago or so, and so I'm gonna buy another one from them, but I gotta figure out getting it. Last time I got it, Paige just so happened was on her way to West Monroe to take her husband to a doctor's appointment, and so that worked out great for me. But tomorrow I don't have anything going on like that, so I gotta figure out how to do that and get a new drain bag. So I won't have a drain bag tonight or in the morning till probably afternoon when I can get that. Now if Big Daddy goes into work in the morning and they say, oh, the office is, closed, we got to get a new AC or, whatever, replace wires or whatever, and he comes home to work from home, I don't know if they let him get in to get his computer. They may not let him get in to get the laptop so he can work from home. I don't know. But we'll see what happens with that. Now, if that was the case, then he could go and get it, and that would work out great. But, if the office is open, he needs to, go on into work. Because he will be off Thursday. Because I have infusion day in Shreveport for my Rituxan infusion. So anyway, saying all that, I had a really rough night. I was overly tired. And when I get overly tired, I do not do well. I was overly tired. I was exhausted. My legs were hurting me. The bottoms of my feet were hurting. And I was having to stand at the bathroom sink and work on my tube and do all this kind of stuff. And my back was hurting. And then when I looked down at my tube, when I tilt my head down to look at my tube, then my nose starts pouring. And yeah, it was just a lot going on, a lot of aggravation. And then when I finally got to sit down this morning about 5 a.m., I went and sat down in my chair. I mean, I was up all night. I saw something. I saw a little reel online. It was about a baby, and it wasn't that big a deal. I started crying, and I was like, I miss my babies. I miss my baby. So I text Elijah, and I was like, oh my goodness, I miss you so much. And that's all I text him. And then Dakota is on vacation, so I didn't text him. He's, having fun. I don't want to be a, wet towel on his fun. But he is having a good time. He's going to all these places, sightseeing in Tennessee. Took a train ride today. Just, all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm happy for him that he is getting to, do all this. But a little while later, when Elijah was going to work, he called me. And he's like, what's going on, Mom? And I was like, I'm just missing you. Really, really just want a hug, but he's got the best hugs. But talking to you is the next best thing. So we talked on his way to work, and I appreciated that so very much. Updated him on what's going on with us, and he updated me what's going on with his job. And he's actually, he's moving to a new location to be the store manager of that new location, but he's also, that's where they put the store managers that are going to be training to be district managers. And so he's going to be a store manager over there, but also training to be a district manager for the store he works for. And I'm sure he'd rather me not say the name of the store, but it's a little boutique type place. We have one here that does not have any business whatsoever. I never see vehicles there, and I always look when we pass by there and I never see vehicles there. The store he's currently at has a pretty good fair amount of business, but the store he's moving to in Little Rock is a much larger location, a better location. They have like a ton of business at that one and way more employees to match the business, you know. So anyway, he's excited about getting to go and do that. So I'm excited for him, and he will get a raise with his, you know, moving up to district manager trainee and all that kind of stuff. So he's excited, and I'm excited for him. Let's see. Anyway, so I'm just going to continue working on this. And I'd like to get a good bit of it done today, if at all possible. Okay, guys, the tail is starting to form, and I'm getting really excited about it. I've got to decide if this bird is a guy or a girl and pick out a name for it. I don't know if it's a girl bird or a boy bird yet. But I'm going to be thinking about that as it's, you know, coming together and see its little personality. Maybe I'll get an idea. I can't get that pulled through. I don't know what's going on with that. Giving that all my might. But it, you know, it's coming together. It's starting its little tail feathers back there, and so that's exciting to see. Now, what was I doing? Just crocheting? I'm just crocheting single crochets now, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'm not sure why that was so hard. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay. But yeah, I'm excited that the little tail feathers are working out, so that's cool. And I think I'll be making another tail feather as I'm coming back around. I don't know how that's gonna work. Maybe I'll go around that piece. I might crochet around that piece that's sticking out here. That's probably what's gonna happen. Yeah, I bet that is what happens. But I'm excited about him. He's him, her, I don't know yet. You cool little blue bird. Maybe by the time I get it done, I will have thought of a name, so I will by the end of this video. I'll have a name up for you. So don't forget to tell me in the comments what your WIP is for today. It doesn't have to be crochet. You know, you could be working on a puzzle or a game. You could be playing a game on your phone or, you know, whatever. Tell me about it. Tell me what's keeping you busy. And if you're in the United States in this heat, are you staying cool? Is your AC keeping up with the heat? Because sometimes we do have issues in the late evening. It just feels like the heat is too much for the AC. So Big Daddy told me, he said, well, in the afternoons, before it gets too hot, why don't you go turn on the air conditioner in the kitchen? It's a window unit. He said, why don't you turn that on before it gets too hot? And that way it'll help cool this off. And I'm like, well, I just don't ever think about it. And he's like, well, think about it. I had to put him a note on the door reminding him to get his hearing aids before he leaves for work. So he might need to put a note somewhere for me to remind me to turn the AC on. I have the one in the parlor on, and there's one in the den, but there's plenty of rooms in between. And plus, when the afternoon sun hits this bathroom window, it just heats up this end of the house a lot. So I need to remember to do that before it gets too hot. There we go. Something like that. And I still haven't seen where to put the eyes. It has not told me that yet. So I guess I still got a ways before I put the eyes in. Because I'm looking through my directions over here. No eyes. That might be, I'm not sure. I can't read it without bringing it up to the, but I don't think it's eyes. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Hey guys, so I'm popping back on to say that I'm not finished with my bird yet. But I did start on the blue wing because I just wanted to crochet and, you know, crochet something up and see it against this lighter blue. I think that's going to be beautiful together. And I did want to say that this yarn works up really nicely. It's the same, to me it's the same as the Wooble yarn. And this also, I mean, it's a tube yarn. Out of all of them, this might be a little bit like the softest, but I don't know. That might be like the softest one compared to the Wooble yarn and this beginner bee. But anyway, it works up nicely, and I'm very, very pleased with the Yarn Bee tube yarn from Hobby Lobby that I had just recently showed. These balls, I'm very pleased with those, and I will be purchasing those again if they, you know, continue to carry them, which I hope they do. I hope that's something that they will carry in the store. I think the price, even on a non-sale week, is very good price, but on a sale week it's really good price, so I'm happy with that. And yeah, I feel like this video is getting pretty long, so I might have to come back and show this bird finished in a future video. I just had a lot going on. My drain bag busted. It's just not made to last for too long. It's busted, and so I wasn't able to drain, and my stomach is just in all kinds of pain and feeling really bad. And so Big Daddy is picking me up drain bags today, and he is getting an extra one on his lunch break from work. That's what he's going to do, is go get me a drain bag and an extra one so I can drain when he gets home. But yeah, my stomach is in lots and lots of pain from not being able to. And you know, I have suffered in so much stomach pain all this time and did not know that that's what I could do to get relief from that. So, you know, the GI doctor I woke up from the scope and I had that bag attached to my stomach. And then she come in and said that's what to do. And in her office before, she had asked me if I vented. And I was like, not really. You know, nobody's ever talked to me about that. And she said, oh yeah, you can vent, you know, like 5-6 times a day. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, you know. And that's just not something that's been talked about with me or discussed, or even, you know, like giving me permission to do it or whatever. So when I woke up from the scope, she's like, yeah, stay on this bag. That'll give your insides some time to heal, because my esophagus and stomach needs to heal and all that kind of stuff, you know. And so it's great. I appreciate that. Her telling me that, because I can sure tell a difference now that I've been doing that and then not doing it, like right now, my stomach is just in so much pain, like it has been all this time, that I could have been getting relief. Anyway, so I'm going to come back in another video and share this bird, you know, finishing up. But I'm very happy with the yarn, and I think the colors that I chose to do my bluebird is complementing to each other. And I am going to add a white in here too, so there will be a white color and the yellow beak. So all right, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in tomorrow's video, friends. Bye guys. Remember, it's a beautiful day to crochet.